My name is Peter Vasquez. I'm a director of photography, cameraman, and worked on Thoroughbred with Sam Nicholson and Dana Christensen. We had two F-35 cameras and an F-23 with the first two prototypes in the U.S. when we decided to shoot those things out in Tehachapi. I thought the camera was fantastic. I've shot film for many years, and all of us have, so shooting this was very nice because we were shooting like lens and film. I didn't feel like I was tethered to anything. We didn't have any DITs with us. We were checking our exposures, looking at our astro monitors and shooting from there. It was very lens and film. It was just like you were trusting the film. Just you were shooting it, shooting an S-log. You trusted your highlights. You trusted what you were shooting, and you know you were going to get it, and it was all there. No, the weather was definitely an interesting factor. I don't think anybody was really ready for it. I know we all kind of talked about it a little bit, but it was quite incredible. I mean, if anything, I think it worked for us. It was beautiful, seeing all that snow come down, and it was really cold. And the cameras performed beautifully. When we were out there shooting at night and it was snowing, one of the behind the guy scene, his camera shut down. It wouldn't work. One of the prosumer type, cameras. So a lot of it, there was not a lot of special rigging at the barn. It was just a lot of, long lenses or wide lenses, and just, shooting, getting all three cameras up, getting a scene, picking our positions, lighting for it, getting our exposures, and going with it. At the barn, we really didn't have much, I think, special gear, and I think that was kind of the beauty of the shoot, is we were able to kind of really shoot it, throw it on a sandbag, throw it up on tripods or hi-hats, or any way we can stick the camera to really get the shot that we wanted. So, and the kind of stuff that we do in production. We want to throw a camera around, we beat stuff up. This thing we beat on, and it was incredible. We decided to go all out again, so we all piled into the cars and grabbed the gears, and we went down to this rodeo ring where one of our cowboys had his horses and his cows and bulls in this rink. We set up with a 6K par backlight, worst case scenario, slamming the lenses with some side light, for just a little bit of fill, just to pick up some glints of things. And it was amazing, because the whole time, with film, you understand the negative, you know what you can pick up, and you always tell yourself it'll be there, it'll be there, it'll be there, I trust it. And it was quite incredible, because you're shooting through these eyepieces, you really can't see much, you're framing up, you're seeing images, but then when you get it back, it's amazing, it's all there. So you really start to trust it in the same fact that you're going to get it, pushing it, I guess that real security factor of having that latitude and knowing that it's going to be there. That's a big plus. That's really important for us. Especially in these moments where you are running and gunning. The racetrack was a completely different type of environment comparing to what our first nights of shooting was in the snow and in the cold and everything else. And of course, here we are taking another camera into the extreme heat. I believe there were at points when the racetrack was about 120 degrees when they would take a temperature reading of the track itself. The biggest thing that I had with my cameras, being with my AC, is that these cameras are out there cooking in the sun. And since these cameras, we could not cover them, our space blankets were too shiny, would freak out the horses. So we couldn't even use space blankets. And there were times when I went over to the camera and touched the camera, and literally it was like on fire. And my ACs were concerned about the heat, and I was like, well, this is what it is. And again, bringing the stuff back, looking at it after a day of shooting there, in the dirt, in the dust, in the heat, no space blankets, not a glitch. Nothing happened to the camera. The images were beautiful. No doubt there was very extreme lighting conditions out there. We were not able to put any kind of fill light. It was just, the camera in the sun. Quite incredible that day to be able to run around in 8 different races. Again, no DITs, using the astro monitor, trusting your exposures, trusting the camera. Just dialing in the camera, using it as a tool like I would use any other camera. But the tools that are available to us on this camera are superior comparing to a lot of other cameras that are out there. The ease of it, getting out there, getting to your positions, trusting what you have to do, putting on the lenses that you needed, knowing your exposure, shooting an S-log, ramping, speed, everything we needed to do, we were able to do in a matter of 15 minutes moving around from track to track. Well, in the barn, as you can see, it was quite, huge differences in lighting in there, comparing from the inside to the outside. It was a very silhouette thing. I believe we had a 4K out there just blaring in. We just really wanted to push the limits of that kind of stuff. Something we would do with film. Really just kind of push it hard because we trust it. We know what we can do with it, and it was the same thing, and it responded very well. Very high dynamic range stuff. Pushing the cameras in the dB levels, seeing how clean the blacks were staying, and just, beautiful photography. Just concentrating on shooting, framing, not worrying about that, that kind of stuff. Doing the art of it. I think lensing on the show, we didn't use anything special. I think we would use everything else that any other production would use. We use our long lenses. We even use macros for certain things. We use very, very wide lenses. We tried pushing each thing every time. F-23 was another great tool to use. For me, I enjoyed using the F-23 as much as the F-35. The ranch location in Ojai was quite an amazing location. It was very green, a lot of color saturation. And we had the Ultimate Arm out there. We had it rigged up. A lot of that was just a lot of beauty photography. Again, no lights. We're just using all natural lighting. No fill, no nothing. Just two F-35s and an F-23 setting up, trying to get the shots that we needed. And of course, the hero equipment that day, which was a special rigging for us, was the Ultimate Arm. The camera went on the Ultimate Arm, no problem. There was no special anything needed, which shouldn't be. I mean, it is a 35mm camera in a sense. It handled the greens well. It had all the daylight. The greens were lush. It was really incredible. The whole color rendition of the camera, the latitude, the sensitivity of the chip, and it's pretty amazing. And all the the tip of your fingers. I think the entire shoot in general, the camera really performed the way the Sony guys said it would perform. I've dealt with a lot of HD cameras in the past where they've always said it would do a certain thing or something else, and it never really did. But it was actually the first time I actually used an HD camera where it performed, and I felt like I was really shooting film. I mean, I know I keep going back to film, and I know that's not really right in a sense, but the cameras were pretty amazing. I mean, I'm really excited about using this camera on another project. I would love to shoot a commercial with it or even a feature film. Looking at this project, you can see the kind of challenges that we did have. And a 5-day shooting schedule. It was very short for the amount of material that we shot. Conditions, huge different types of conditions, from very, very cold to snowing to blistering hot. Not one glitch, cameras never shut down, nor did anything funny. The ease of use, the tools of storytelling, which are very important to us, and we don't want to sit there and tinker with stuff and trying to get it to work because it doesn't work right. We want a real camera. The project was an amazing thing to work on. To working with Sam and Dana, all of us had some great ideas. It was a collaboration, no doubt about it. And I think all of us can say, we all stand around the same, that we enjoy the camera. We think it's an amazing tool, and we're ready to see more.